More NFL week 4 DFS picks here on Fantasy Focus through Monkey Knife Fight. I'm Derek Tate alongside Ryan Levy as we break down our picks for the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Cleveland Browns. And these are two teams that are particularly tough to figure out because they can't figure out if they're really good or not. It's really tricky when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys and even the Cleveland Browns. But the Browns have bounced back, after a week 1 loss. And look, they figured out that giving Nick Chubb the football is a good thing to do to try to win football games.
Right.
In particular, when it comes to Monkey Knife Fight, that's where we're playing our prop bets, more or less picks for this particular game. And if you haven't yet done so, go to monkeyknifefight.com and use the promo code FOCUS when you create an account and make your first deposit. Monkey Knife Fight will actually match it up to $50 into your account. But let's go ahead and start with a rapid fire where it kind of pits two players against each other for specific statistical categories. Passing yardage for the two quarterbacks, Dak Prescott versus Baker Mayfield. Baker's getting 55.5 passing yards in this heads-up tilt. That is probably the highest I've seen yet in this heads-up matchup for rapid fire. So give me your initial knee-jerk reaction, Levy, between Dak Prescott and Baker getting 55.5 passing yards.
Right. Yeah. I mean, rapid fire is my favorite type of contest. Look, you just got to get 3 out of 3 and you're getting 5x your buy-in. And I've played a million of these things and I've never seen a spread as high as 55 yards. That is insane. It seems way too high for me. And I know Dak is cooking. He looks good out there, but I expect Cleveland to be playing from behind in this game. So for me, I can't fade a spread that big. Plus 55.5 yards is a lot of yards, man. So naturally, I want to lean with Baker. Talk me out of it.
Well, I'll talk you out of it because every single week, if you were to play, pit these two players head to head against each other, every single week, Dak Prescott definitely outthrows Baker Mayfield by more than 55.5 passing yards. It's high, but it's understandably high. The tricky thing is, too, the Browns got waxed in week number 1 against the Baltimore Ravens, right? And Baker Mayfield failed to top 200 yards passing. So even if you think, and I get the Ravens defense is better than the Dallas Cowboys, but even if you think that the Cowboys are going to get out to a lead against the Browns, which I'm not even certain that's the case. This is kind of a coin flip because I don't know which Browns team is going to show up. I don't know which Cowboys team is going to show up. If you see it that way, that's fine. I can make a case either way for this game going 6 different directions. For that reason, I'm going with what we have as far as a sample size for Baker Mayfield and his passing attack and Dak Prescott in his allotment of options through the air. I'm actually going to go Dak Prescott, even though it's a huge handicap for Baker Mayfield.
I'm okay with it, man. The numbers don't lie. That's why I said talk me out of it. The weapons, there's no doubt about it, are better for Dak and co. So I will side with you here. You talk me out of it.
Dak and co. I like that. So we'll move to receptions. We've got Amari Cooper versus Odell Beckham Jr. Odell's got a half a reception handicap. So, two talented players that feel like they've underwhelmed to start the year. But give me your thoughts. Who do you got in this heads-up matchup for receptions?
You know that I hate Odell Beckham Jr. And I will never side with him in any category for anything. Ooh. So I'm going Amari Cooper.
Damn, you kept that one really simple.
Hot take.
I don't blame you, though. Odell's been someone that's damn near impossible to try to figure out on a week-to-week basis.
What it comes down to, man, he's just too inconsistent for me. He's a talented player. There's no doubt about it. But, something's not all there between the ears. And I don't want to get on the roller coaster that is Odell Beckham Jr. I'd rather go with a bit more consistency in Amari Cooper. I know it sounds ridiculous to say I'd never put my money behind Odell because he is talented. There's no denying that. But I'd rather go with consistency.
Speaking of consistency, The thing that really makes me give the nod to Amari Cooper in this one. Again, I'm not always just doing a stat dive every single time we do one of these, but it is relevant when we're talking about a 3-week sample size. I think that's enough to feel confident about when trying to analyze and project what the involvement's going to be on a week-to-week basis. So for Odell Beckham Jr., he hasn't caught 5 passes in a game yet this year. When you flip that other side of the coin for Amari Cooper, he's caught at least 6 in every single game. So for that reason, and I know that the matchups, I mean, he actually played very well against Jalen Ramsey in week number 1, but he's had 2 very, very, very favorable matchups the last 2 weeks against the Atlanta Falcons and the Seattle Seahawks secondary. But Cooper is far more involved on a regular basis and has a good connection with Dak. So, yeah, I'm going Amari Cooper on this one.
There we go. Let's go.
Let's go. Now, this is always the tricky one. Anything involving Jarvis Landry just drives me nuts. And this is essentially a pick 'em with receiving yards. Jarvis Landry only getting 1.5 receiving yards. So, CeeDee Lamb, I've been actually very encouraged from what I've seen from CeeDee Lamb through the first 2 weeks, even though we saw a Cedric Wilson sighting blow up in week 3 for the Dallas Cowboys. But give me your thoughts on this Lamb-Landry heads-up matchup.
Yeah, I mean, except for week 1, I believe, CD has out-received him in every single week. I know it's only two weeks then, 2 out of 3, but I just think the upside right now with Dallas and CD is a little bit higher. And, I mean, 1.5 yards is nothing. Like you said, it's pretty much a pick 'em. So I'm going to go with CeeDee Lamb here. I like the top row always in these Monkey Knife Fight rapid fires. It seems to be a consistent thing. Bucky and I this morning had a couple of these top row picks as well. I'm going CD here.
So the interesting thing is the one game that really favored Jarvis Landry game flow wise, right? They were playing from behind the whole time and, et cetera, et cetera. That's the only time he's topped 60 yards the entire season. The week 2 and week 3 tilts, I mean, CeeDee Lamb only finished 2 yards behind Jarvis Landry in week number 1. So he's had 59 or more receiving yards in every single game. And again, the only argument against that, Atlanta and Seattle both have been getting torched on a weekly basis. So that may have something to do with the jump up in numbers. But I'm going to go CeeDee Lamb as well, man. I mean, I just feel confident that Dak Prescott is going to continue to do good things through the air, and CeeDee Lamb's a big part of it, man. They're finding ways to get him the football, and I'm rolling with CeeDee Lamb.
Love it.
So, but yeah, again, before we make our 6 for 6 more or less picks where you get 35 times your buy-in, again, if you have not yet done so, go to monkeyknifefight.com, create your account. Don't forget to use the promo code FOCUSED, and Monkey Knife Fight will match any deposit in your first deposit up to $50 in your account. So I'm trying to click new game, and it's not cooperating with me sometimes. So
just
Levy,
click up for,
there we go. I clicked new game, and it finally refreshed for me. Thank God.
I was going to walk you through it. It's okay.
I know it's tough, man. Sometimes Derek has a little bit of trouble using the computer. What are you going to do? Sometimes, man, this guy is just not very good with technology. So
I tell you what, man, he's got fat fingers. This guy.
Yeah, I tell you what, man, it's really bad, man. I got to tell you, it's a problem, man. I mistype shit all the time. Anyway, 6 for 6, more or less, monkeyknifefight.com for this matchup against the Cowboys Browns. We'll start with the quarterbacks. The exact yardage totals have been set at 320.5 for Dak Prescott. Pretty high. What are your thoughts?
I want to go less, man. Am I crazy? I just the argument that I can make for going more. Vegas expects this is the highest total of Sunday. Monday Night Football is a point higher, but they've got this set at a 56-point total. So they are expecting some serious fireworks here. So that is what makes me want to push more here. So if you want to talk me into more, I'm fine with it. I just don't know that I can see Dak doing this every single week.
I don't know if I see a shootout, man. I mean, a lot of the success for the Cleveland Browns has been because Nick Chubb has been tearing it up.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, I think he's going to have a good game against the Dallas Cowboys, but I still don't trust Baker Mayfield. I don't trust Odell Beckham Jr. I still don't trust this Cleveland Brown offense. I mean, that's the part that scares me. So I just don't know if Dak is going to need to throw for 320 yards for them to win this football game. My gut tells me less as well, so I'm actually going to roll with you on this. The problem is that Dak's thrown for over 400 yards in each of the last 2 games. So It's like, okay, well, if we're going with the law of averages here, then, Dak is just tossing the ball over the yard. But, I just don't think that they're going to need to throw the ball quite as much as they've had in the previous 2 games, where they fell behind significantly to the Atlanta Falcons and, of course, the shootout against the Seattle Seahawks. I just don't see the Browns putting up that many points, man. So I'm going to go less.
Yeah, I feel like if you were betting on this game, I would lean under 56 too, man. I mean, we say it all the time. The Browns only win when Nick Chubb is getting 20 carries. And believe it or not, Dallas does a hell of a lot better too when they just feed Zeke, right? So I don't know if I see 56 points in this. I could be wrong, but I'm comfortable with less here.
All right, so when it comes to the other side of the coin, Baker Mayfield, which Baker hasn't thrown for anywhere near 265 yards in a game yet this season, if I'm not mistaken, correct? So what are your thoughts on Baker Mayfield at that, more or less?
Such a tease because Dallas's defense really isn't all that impressive.
Correct.
But I'm going to go less, man. He hasn't really sniffed that yet. I think his highest total is like 220 in a game this year. And they, again, if they're going to win this game and they're going to stand a chance, it's going to be a heavy dose of Nick Chubb. So I'm going to go less.
Me too. We'll keep it that simple. Amari Cooper, 82.5 receiving yards, more or less.
Can we just jump to the end real quick? Because I want to go more.
Oh, you bastard. I hate when you do this. All right, we'll go to CeeDee Lamb, 61.5 receiving yards. He has topped that in 2 out of his first 3 games.
And the one was what, 59 when he didn't?
Yep.
All right. So, I like to do this because it makes me feel better. It's like a process of elimination. So when I see one that I really like, I want to just go jump on it.
Fair. Okay. If you're that confident on CD, I'll roll with you. I mean, again, sample size favors that decision, so I'll roll with more on CeeDee Lamb. Zeke Elliott, 89.5 rushing yards. I'm surprised we don't see Kareem Hunt or Nick Chubb in this, 6 more or less, but there are a lot of options to choose from. So what about Zeke Elliott?
Yeah. So let's see what he's had. He's had 2 games at 89 or higher this year. If I'm banking on game script, what I'm talking about here, I'm going to say more. I think he finishes like in the 90s here.
So you think that you're predicting that the Cowboys are going to be playing with a lead and
20 carries for Zeke here. I think, yeah, I'm going to say 20 carries for Zeke and Chubb. I know Chubb's not in this, but I feel comfortable with more on Zeke. He gets back on track this week.
Yeah, I'm just not buying the Browns. I feel like the Dallas Cowboys, I'm not going to say it's a must-win for Dallas because that division just sucks. But, the Cowboys, I think, are the better football team. I truly believe that. So I'm going to go with more on Zeke. I think that the Browns defense is going to have a hard time slowing down this high-powered attack there in Dallas. Odell, 4.5 receptions. He hasn't caught 5 balls all damn season, but he has caught 4 balls on 2 different occasions. So more or less on 4.5 receptions, man. That's a tough line.
It's a terrible, terrible tough line. I'm going to say more. I think he gets 5 catches.
I have a feeling too, man, because I don't see anybody in that secondary that can really handle Odell. It's just, you just have to trust that Baker's going to be able to get him the football. And that's the thing I just don't trust about this connection. I don't trust these two. And yet I'm forced to have to try to make a decision on whether or not they're going to, ball out or not on Sunday. And that's why we get paid the big bucks. So let's go ahead and go more on Odell, even though I don't love it. So now we've worked our way back to Amari Cooper. 82.5 reception yards. Give me your thoughts, man.
All right, I'm gonna go more, but I'm hesitant here. I mean, like you said, he's had 6 catches every week. I feel like a 6 for 90 day is coming, but I don't feel great about it. So I feel like you could talk me off the ledge here.
So I lost you there for a second. Would you say more or less?
I said more.
More. Okay. There's a large allotment of options there in Dallas. And I think that he'll still have a pretty nice reception total. And I'm not super sold on the Browns secondary. And we've actually seen some decent play from Denzel Ward, Terrence Mitchell. I'm not really high on Taviar Thomas, who is their premier slot corner. But Carl Joseph, Andrew Sendejo, at the safety positions, I think that Cooper has a nice day, despite it being a ho hum secondary, some good, some bad. I'm gonna go more for Amari Cooper.
All right. I love it. I love it, Tate. It's going to be close to that 82.5 though, man.
I know, man. I know. He could still have a good day and still go for 79 yards or some shit like that. So it's not an ideal line, but that's part of this. So again, if you are kind of a prop bet aficionado and you want to go ahead and join in on the fun here at monkeyknifefight.com, go ahead and use the promo code FOCUS when you create an account and make your first deposit. monkeyknifefight.com will match it up to $50 on your first deposit. If this is your first time coming across the Fantasy Focus channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our fantasy football content heading into the rest of the 2020 NFL season. So until next time, good luck. And later, says the tape.
Good luck. See you guys.